Emily was a solitary figure in the bustling city, her existence confined to the walls of her cramped apartment. With her porcelain skin, framed by dark hair cascading in waves around her shoulders, and her piercing green eyes reflecting a mixture of determination and fear, she seemed to blend seamlessly into the shadows that surrounded her. Her life revolved around her work as a middle specialist for the small online store, where she found solace in the anonymity of the digital world. Outside of her virtual domain, she was a ghost, rarely venturing beyond the safety of her own four walls. In the dimly lit confines of her cluttered apartment, Emily sat hunched over her laptop, her eyes flickering over the screen as she scrolled through the comments section of the online store's latest promotion. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, responding to inquiries and engaging with customers in her usual friendly manner. But amidst the sea of mundane comments, there was one that caught her eye. A message addressed to her personally, nestled among the generic inquiries about product availability and shipping times. "Emily, you look beautiful tonight, bitch." She froze, her heart pounding against her ribs. How could anyone know her name? And why are they calling her names? Why? She wanted to cry. She glanced around her cramped apartment, the curtains drawn tight against the outside world. The only sounds were the hum of her computer and the distant rumble of traffic. With trembling fingers, she clicked on the username attached to the message, but it led to a blank profile, no photo, no personal information, just an empty void staring back at her. Dismissing it as a strange coincidence, Emily forced herself to focus on her work, pushing the unsettling message to the back of her mind. But as the days passed, more messages began to appear. Each one more unnerving than the last. "I saw you at the store today. You have a beautiful smile, Emily. I want you. I know where you live." Fear clawed at her insides, threatening to consume her. Who was this person? How did they know so much about her? Once, when she was called into an office meeting, she told her co-workers about it, but they dismissed her concerns, citing an overactive imagination, even though the internet is full of weirdos, and that's normal. Determined to get to the truth, Emily delved into the world of the internet, exploring forums and social networks in search of any information that could lead her to the mysterious stalker. But the more she searched, the more she realized the situation was stalemate. Then, one night, as she sat alone in her apartment, the message appeared again, this time accompanied by a chilling photograph of her front door, taken from the shadows of the street outside. "I told you I know where you live, Emily." Panic surged through her veins as she frantically searched for any sign of the intruder. But there was nothing. No footsteps echoing in the hallway, no whispered threats through the darkness. With nowhere left to turn, Emily resigned herself to her fate, barricading herself inside her apartment, using every piece of furniture she could move to block the doors and windows. She asked her friends for advice about installing an alarm system and additional security measures, and one of them helped her install the alarm system, but it didn't help her get rid of her growing sense of anxiety. But as the hours stretched into days, and no further messages appeared, she began to wonder if perhaps she had imagined the whole thing. And then, just when she thought it was safe to breathe again, a knock sounded at her door. Slow and deliberate, echoing through the silence like a death knell. With trembling hands, Emily approached the door, her heart hammering in her chest. And as she peered through the peephole, she saw nothing but the empty hallway stretching out before her. But when she turned to retreat back into the safety of her apartment, she found herself face to face with her stalker, lurking in the shadows behind her. The last thing Emily saw before the darkness consumed her was the glint of a knife in the stranger's hand, a twisted smile curling across their lips. And as the world faded to black, she realized with a sinking dread that the nightmare was far from over. The killer was revealed to be her colleague, James, whom she had always considered a friend. He was the one who helped her set the alarm. His obsession with Emily had driven him to madness, his desire for her consuming him from within. The details of his depravity shocked even the most seasoned detectives, as they uncovered the extent of his twisted fantasies and the lengths he had gone to in order to make Emily his own.